President of the United States.
Maybe you watched it last night, maybe you didn't. I had to suffer through the State of the Union, and I know I do not feel like recapping all the things on the... Look, if you've been on Twitter, you've seen it. But I will show you just a couple of clips, the highlights, so to speak. And I made a prediction last night, and I think I was right. So here was my prediction, and then we'll talk about the fake news. Watch.
The thing that's going to annoy me the most is that he's probably going to perform average tonight. I really do. I think they'll drug him up enough. He's had enough rest and ice cream. He's going to be average. He's going to slur. He's going to mumble. But he's not going to trip. Like, literally, He will not trip and fall, most likely, because they'll be holding him up. But if he doesn't trip and fall, the media will say, this is one of the best speeches ever by Joe Biden, right? That's what even Fox News. What was your takeaway, Brett Baer? Oh, this was one of the, probably Joe Biden's best speech. And really, a great speech when needed most. Going into an election year when Donald Trump is performing really well, looks like he's going to secure the nomination. This was a speech Joe Biden had to give tonight. Do I sound just like the media? Right?
Yeah.
This was a speech Joe Biden had to give tonight. He had to assure his base that he was, because there was a lot of questions about his mental competency. But tonight, he answered those questions. He looked as sharp as ever. This was a different Joe Biden than we were expecting. This is the Joe Biden that people wanted to be president in 2020. He's really did a lot for himself to reassure his voters, right?
Look, he draws energy from a room like that. He sort of gained some speed over the course of the evening, gave a long speech, gave it well, and stayed longer probably than anybody expected him to. Look, the bar, as we know last night, was to say to Americans, I can do this. I've got the vigor, I've got the precision. And look, there are flubs along the way. That's inevitable. But this is about giving. There were a lot of Americans who weren't sure what they were going to see last night. I think a lot of people came out of there feeling reassured.
See, I told you, short of falling, they were going to say it was an excellent speech, that Biden couldn't have done any better. But interestingly, maybe they didn't see this part.
Because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know. We're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what he was saying either. There was a couple of interesting moments of the night. One moment that everybody saw with Marjorie Taylor Greene making him say Laken Riley. And I think he tried, but he ended up saying Lincoln Riley. Check it out.
And it's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really. Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of the thousands of people being killed by illegals? To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. But look, if we...
Now, in case you didn't know, Lincoln Riley is a college football coach. Laken Riley is the young woman who was murdered by an illegal alien. One good thing that came out of that part of the State of the Union, at least, Joe Biden actually referred to the individual the way he should have been referred to, and that's as an illegal. And he also suggested that illegals commit tons of crimes. You heard it. So anyway, the one moment he went off script is probably the most honest moment of his speech. Maybe one of the most dishonest moments of the speech was this one here.
My inherited economy is on the brink. Now our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years, a record. Unemployment at 50-year lows. record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the economy is all that great. I mean, he could tell you that it's great, but there's certain lies that you can't just tell. Your groceries any cheaper? Your gas any cheaper? Your shelves any more full? The economy isn't getting better. Credit card debt is getting higher, so much so that he's proposing that he's going to slash late fees for credit cards. I have an idea, President Biden. How about you don't have an economy that requires people to spend all of the money on credit cards because they can't afford anything because of your inflation? America knows this economy is in the toilet, and your lies aren't convincing them otherwise. Look, there's a lot of moments you can catch up on from the State of the Union. If you feel like going and watching it, do yourself a favor. Don't bother unless you like being lied to. But if you do want more information, you can go to dcpatriot.com for all of the coverage from the State of the Union and Joe Biden's lies and all the election coverage you're looking for.